Hi, I'm Alan Rosenberg, and welcome to another edition of the Alan Rosenberg Show. Today's show is going to be a little bit different. What I'm going to be doing today is showing some of the more recent CD purchases that I've made over the last couple of months. They include a lot of rare and imported collectible type CDs, all of which I found in the wild, meaning that's the most fun part of collecting. I'm always searching for these things, whether it's flea markets or yard sales or estate sales, thrift stores, and my local record stores as well, which I visit all the time. I buy a ton of new music. As I said last year, I bought about 400. But with my music OCD, basically, I have to listen to each album at least 5 times. So it can take a long time for me to get through these things. And then after 5 times, or less if I don't like it, I have to decide if I want to keep the album or not. And if I do, it goes in my database when I purchase it, and I put in all the song titles and chart positions, and it gets filed away into the archives. But I don't keep everything I buy by any stretch. A lot of it I give away or sell or donate. My goal is not to have the biggest collection, it's just stuff that I really like. But I'm always exploring and always love going out in the wild and finding stuff. And I found some really great things over the last couple of months. So I'm going to show them to you right now. Let's start with the letter A. This is a purchase. It's called An Apple a Day by a band called Apple. This is a CD that came out in about 1969. I've never heard of them. I don't know any of their songs, but it's on a German import label called Repertoire, and I pretty much will pick up anything that this label puts out because it's digitally remastered, bonus tracks, beautiful, thick booklets. Nice purchase. I just hope it's good. Going to keep going. I just picked this up today, actually, in the flea market. Argent in Concert. Looking forward to hearing that. Yep, part of the BBC series. This is P.P. Arnold. She was on Immediate Records, Andrew Loog Oldham's label, the Stones' original manager. And this is an amazing collection of 28 of her complete stuff that she did on Immediate. She's probably more famous as a backup singer, and she sang with the Nice as a backup singer as well. But this is a nice collection, and I have not heard it yet, but I know some of her stuff for sure. This is a cheapo collection of Bachman Turner Overdrive. Yeah, I like BTO. I don't listen to them too often, but always good to find a good little collection from them. This is a beautiful book collection. It's called The Collector's Guide to the Birds, Rare British Birds. Who's the birds? Well, if you look really closely, you're going to see Ronnie Wood there. And I never had any of their stuff, but I'm a huge Stones collector, and this will go into the collection. Just got to listen to it a couple times. But this is a beautiful collection with a really thick booklet, everything that the birds did. Today at the flea market, I bought another 20 CDs, and in there was this band, a fairly recent band for me, Black Country Communion. And this is a modern-day supergroup. So you got Joe Bonamassa, Glenn Hughes, Derek Sherinian, and Jason Bonham. And they're supposed to be really great. I like Joe Bonamassa. I like Glenn Hughes. So and Jason Bonham's a phenomenal drummer. So I actually picked up 3 of their albums. This one is their debut. It's a double disc with a DVD in there, so that's a nice pick. And then their second album, which I picked up today as well. And their third one, which is called Afterglow. I think they released one after this as well. But I hope I like them. I'm sure I will. I just never got around to picking up their stuff, but that's part of the fun of going out and searching in the flea market today. Paid $1 for each one of those. So, good find. This is a cool collection. This was on a thing called Sunbeam Records, another import, a band called Blossom Toes. I know of them, but I do not know their music. And all of these CDs are so great. They're digitally remastered. They sound fantastic, and they load them up with bonus tracks, with beautiful booklets. When it comes to collecting music, I have vinyl, and I like vinyl, but man, when I find digitally mastered CDs with tons of bonus tracks and thick booklets, they just sound so great, and it's exciting for me. This is the Jack Bruce Collector's Edition CD, an import. I picked this up today at the flea market as well. Just a nice collection of 14 Jack Bruce songs. Can't go wrong with that. For whatever reason, I'm a really big Fleetwood Mac fan and Lindsey Buckingham fan, but I never had his second solo album go insane. Great title track, and looking forward to hearing that one. I've been getting into Nick Cave and the Bad Seeds over the last couple of years, and this is just a nice collection called Murder Ballads. So, looking forward to hearing that one. This is a cool band called the Chesterfield Kings, and I have two of their other albums, and I found this one at the flea market today, still sealed. This is called Psychedelic Sunrise, and that should be fun. Not the biggest Chicago fan, but I have a lot of the classic albums, and I actually have this one on vinyl. But this is a digitally remastered version on Rhino with a nice big book. So this is their debut album. What a classic with Does Anybody Really Know What Time It Is? Beginnings, Question 67, 68. Can't go wrong with this album. So I'm not precious when it comes to vinyl. If that sounds great, which it will, believe it or not, I'm going to dump the vinyl. I just listen to CDs way more. Stanley Clarke, I remember seeing him in the New Barbarians in 1979. Great jazz bass player. And this is a nice collection called The Basic Collection, as in bass. Cool. I actually kind of like this band. Kind of a Irish punk band, but they're really good. The Corrs. And this is called Dreams, the Ultimate Corrs Collection. Definitely well respected. Bono sang with them. Ronnie Wood plays with them on occasion. They're good. I've been really getting into jazz over the last couple of years, and this is a nice pickup. The Complete Birth of the Cool from Miles Davis. This is a 2 CD set, and it's exactly what its title is, The Complete Birth of the Cool. Obviously, classic stuff. This stuff is more of his jazz fusion. This is a more difficult listen. Only heard it once so far. Live Evil. Double disc. Remastered. Great sound. I found this. This is a cool collection. You know, these digitally remastered CDs, they come in little boxes with booklets, posters, a family collection. The Best of Family. Family, the lead singer is Roger Chapman. I've heard bits and pieces of them over the years. He has a really strange voice, and I'm not sure if I'm going to like them, but I paid $1 for this mini box set. So, good find, and I hope it's good. Otherwise, somebody's going to be happy because I'll donate it to them. Andy Fraser, well, you may know him from Free. Unfortunately, passed away at a young age. This is a really cool collection. I picked this up today at the flea market. And this is a single disc with 2 full albums. Andy Fraser Band and In Your Eyes. I'm really looking forward to hearing this. He was not just a bass player at Free, but he wrote a lot of the songs. Co-wrote a lot of the songs. This is one I'm really looking forward to. Back in the late 70s, I gave this band a try. I had picked up their live album, Playing the Fool, and it was just too difficult for me. I'm a big prog rock fan, but these guys were a tough listen, and now it's time to give them another shot. I found all of these magnificent digitally remastered CDs of the band Gentle Giant. That was the American cover. Look at how these are done. They're so beautiful. And digitally remastered with bonus tracks. That's the British cover. That says Octopus. And then I got In a Glass House. And as you can see, it says German import. It says $8. I didn't pay $8, so lucky me. The Power and the Glory. It says Mr. Cheapo, $7.99, but I didn't get it at Mr. Cheapo's. I paid $2 for it at the flea market. Go figure. Nice stuff. And look at this, 35th anniversary of Freehand, including live bonus tracks on it. So I'm really looking forward to getting into Gentle Giant. I hope I like them. I think I will now. That should be fun. This was a great pickup. This is a band called Grapefruit, and it's called Around Grapefruit. This is also from the late 60s, 67, 68. They're a little bit well known because John Lennon kind of discovered them, and they were the first signing to Apple, at least on Apple Publishing, I know. And look at this, digitally remastered, 12 songs, but another 12 bonus tracks. This is why I love CDs. This is going to sound great, and it's just fully loaded, and it's on German imprint repertoire. Can't go wrong with that. I hope I like the music, but I'm sure I will. This was a cool find. I got this today at the flea market. Sensational Alex Harvey Band, another British band that was pretty popular across the pond. An album called Next, and I know some of their stuff. Faith Hailer, great cover by Fish, not the band Fish, the singer Fish from Marillion. He did a great cover. So looking forward to giving that a listen. This I have on vinyl, cheapo CD. Heart. This is was actually their first live album in 1980. It's just okay, but I can get rid of the vinyl with that one. This is a nice look at that one. Japanese import of Humble Pie, and this is one of those CDs that is like a reproduction of the vinyl. And I just picked that one up too, really cheap. Gonna keep going. I'm a really big fan of Ian Hunter. He's one of the true artists from the 70s, his most recent albums, by the way, are unbelievable. You know, we talk about Bob Dylan, everybody talks about Dylan. Ian Hunter is like the Bob Dylan. His later albums are just amazing, and he still puts on a great show to this day. But I have most of his stuff, but I didn't have these two albums. This is his All American Alien Boy was his second solo record. His first one is one of the great debuts of all time. This album right there, All American Alien Boy, I've already heard this like 5 times. I just have to put it in a database. But look at digitally remastered. Look at all those bonus tracks. It's got Irene Wild on it, which is one of the all-time great songs. And it's a good album. It's a very big album. It's horn sections and things like that. I like his stuff a little bit more, not so big. This album I haven't heard yet. Ian Hunter's Dirty Laundry. Cool cover, though. So, that should be fun. Look at that. The booklet is cut out, die cut. So, that should be fun. Really big fan of Ian Hunter. As I mentioned before, I've been getting into jazz fusion, and picked up a couple of Mahavishnu orchestra albums digitally remastered. These are all out in the wild. I got these at the flea market for like $1. So, and these come with thick booklets, just great finds. Let's keep going. A band I'm really looking forward to getting into. I'm definitely an Anglophile. I love these British bands that never made it really big in America. And one of the ones that made it really big over there is the Manic Street Preachers. I know like 1 or 2 of their songs. But look at this. I bought a stack of Manic Street Preachers, and these are all British imports. So I am looking forward to this year, 2021, really getting into them and enjoying their stuff. And here's an album called Everything Must Go. And this is a double disc. The album remastered with a whole live concert. And again, why I love CDs. They just do magnificent jobs, these companies do. Here's one called Forever Delayed, a greatest hits album, and these are all British imports, and this comes with another bonus disc as well. And they do Suicide is Painless, the theme from MASH. I've heard that. It's really, really good. An album called Lifeblood. Got that. National Treasures, the complete singles. Look at all of those tracks. And their debut album, Manic Street Preachers. Actually, I think this is it. It says Generation Terrors. Correct me if I'm wrong. I think it's their debut album. And a classic called This Is My Truth, Tell Me Yours. And again, these are British imports, so they come with bonus CDs. And this one comes with a bonus CD, a live album, which I love live stuff, so it should be really fun. And look at this one. Limited collector's edition of Send Away the Tigers with a whole book and 2 CDs. Hard to do this way, but you get the idea. So this actually is 2 CDs, the album with demos, B-sides and rarities, and then a DVD live from Glastonbury, plus extra bonuses. I mean, this could take me a year to get through this one box, and I bought all of that Manic Street Preachers. So I hope I really like it. Let's keep going. A band that I knew, but I just don't have that much stuff from, and I just think these would be really good collections. The Very Best of the Meters single album, and then I picked up this double, what I call a mini box set, Funkify Your Life. And this is pretty much everything I'll need from the Meters. And I've heard these albums already a couple of times, and they're great. A lot of instrumental, funky stuff. Let's keep going. Some more imports I lucked into finding. The Pretty Things, a really great British band that's kind of like the Stones in the early 60s. The BBC Sessions, double disc, with, again, on Repertoire. Repertoire is a great label. If you like CDs and you see Repertoire, you pick it up. The Small Faces, 2 different double collections. This is pretty much everything you would need from the Small Faces. This is the immediate stuff, and then the stuff that they did on Decca afterwards. So these 4 CDs is pretty much the complete Small Faces, and I like the Small Faces a lot. Of course, the classic stuff for sure, Steve Marriott. What else did I get? A lot more. Kind of a cool Steve Miller album that I never had called Italian X-Rays. Probably a minor Steve Miller album. And a Steve Miller anthology, which I already have on vinyl, but when I can get a good version on CD, I'll get rid of the vinyl if it sounds good. So I already had that. This is a cool band called The Records. I picked these up, and this was put up on an independent label that the guys in the band puts out. And you probably know the records from Starry Eyes, which was a great classic power pop single. But they're a really good power pop, for lack of a better word. That's really what they are, a power pop rock band. And they put these out on his own label. And they're really good. I've actually heard both of these many times. They put it on the Beach Recordings, which is, I think it's Will Birch in the band, his label. But good pickup. I like it when I'm in the mood for like power pop. That's great. Another band that I always like, with Gary Wright, the famous song Dreamweaver, he comes from a band called Spooky Tooth, and I already have like the best of Spooky Tooth, but it's time to get into more of their stuff. So I got, and these are also all on Repertoire. Beautiful. This is their debut album with loads of bonus tracks. You see that? All digitally remastered. Their best album is Spooky 2. Same thing. Tons of bonus tracks, just beautiful packaging. Album called The Last Puff. That's after Gary Wright left and Mike Harrison leading the band. Bonus tracks. And then a double anthology on Esoteric Recordings, another really cool import label. It's beautiful. And Lost in My Dream, an anthology, 1968 to 1974. So it's pretty much everything you need from this Spooky Tooth. I was lucky to pick up. What else? I'll keep going, shall I? I'm a really big fan of Status Quo. And this is just a cheapo collection called Classic Status Quo. I pretty much have all their albums at this point, but I really like them. And then I got this collection from Status Quo called B-Sides and Rarities. 24 B-Sides and Rarities is really good. And then what I call these mini box sets of their very first album. And a very different kind of Status Quo. Pictures of Matchstick Men is the famous song from this album. But they totally changed their sound. But look at this. This is a double disc, stereo, mono, BBC sessions. It is so much stuff on these. And I got these for such a good deal. Status Quo. What else did I get? I'll keep going. Famous Cat Stevens album. I already have Tea for the Tiller Man, but this is remastered. This is a beautiful one. Look at this. So this is XTC as the Dukes of Stratosphere. Psychic. You probably know this album. Maybe you don't. Psychic Sunspot's the name of it. XTC as an alternate band, and this is just a beautiful. Look at how nice this one is. And I think these are pretty rare and hard to find. I got almost nothing at the flea market. So that's the fun, is, going out in the wild and hunting, and you never know what you're going to find. From a previous video, I mentioned the band Suede. I love Suede. Look at this. I bought this album 3 times already. Here's another version from England coming up. But this is, look at this thing on Edso Records. Disc 1 is the album remastered with tons of bonus tracks and demos. Second disc is B-sides. And the third is a DVD with 2 full concerts on there and videos. I mean, I love CDs. We'll keep going. Bob Welch, you probably know him. He was in Fleetwood Mac before Lindsey Buckingham and Stevie Nicks. And actually had a bit of a solo career hit after that with Sentimental Lady, which originally was a Fleetwood Mac track. French Kiss was his big album. So just a cheapo collection of the best of Bob Welch solo. And we'll keep going. Another British band that I really like called Teenage Fan Club. I have a compilation of their albums. And these are some of their studio records. Bandwagon-esque is this one, a really famous album. And 13. And these are all British imports, so they come with bonus tracks, bonus CDs. Look at this one. This is Grand Prix. Plus a bonus 5-track disc of B-sides and previously unreleased stuff. Thick booklets. These are all British imports of that band. Really good band. As is this band. You may know them. The Undertones. And I picked up 3 of their albums. And loaded with bonus tracks. Digitally mastered. Another one, Hypnotized by the Undertones. Their debut album, which is great. I mean, look at that. This one CD has 23 songs on it. So, we're getting towards the end. Hope you're still with me. I picked up the album by Zephyr. So, who's Zephyr? Well, if you like Tommy Bolin, he was the guitarist in this band. And I had never seen this CD before, so I had to pick this one up. On One Way Records, I have some of their stuff. But there we go. So just broke it. And I like ZZ Top. Not the biggest fan, but I never had this album. Rio Grande Mud. So it's got Francine on it. So that's a good pickup. And last but not least, some really great box sets I recently picked up. Look at this one. The Immediate Record Company Anthology 3-disc box set with a nice book. P.P. Arnold on here. Early Rod Stewart before he was famous. Chris Farlow. Small Faces, of course. The Nice. Really cool. And not easy to find. Humble Pie. Big fan. This I bought at the record store, one of the record stores I shop at. I'm a really big fan of Richard Thompson. I've been looking at this for like a year. It was up on the shelves, and I finally went for it. It was a good price. And this is The Life and Times of Richard Thompson. 6 CDs and a book. This box weighs like a couple of pounds. The book is literally a book. It's unbelievable. I'll do an unboxing when I start digging into this album. But that was really cool. And look at this one I bought the same day. I'm a really big fan of the Velvet Underground. This is called Final VU, 1971 to 1973, Japanese import. And this is 4 discs in a box. But this is the controversial Velvet Underground. Their last album as the Velvet Underground with Lou Reed, of course, was Loaded, which is the Velvet Underground I actually listened to, Velvet Underground album I listened to the most. Doug Yule was on that album. And then Lou Reed left the Velvet Underground, and that should have been the end of the Velvet Underground. But Doug Yule put out another Velvet Underground after called Squeeze, which I don't have. It's not really in the Velvet Underground history because it's kind of like if the Rolling Stones released an album if Mick Jagger left, it would be kind of strange. Wouldn't really make sense. But that's what happened. Doug Yule carried on briefly as the Velvet Underground without Lou Reed or anybody else. Well, Maureen Tucker stayed as the drummer. But this box is 4 concerts of the Doug Yule years in sort of bootleg quality. I haven't actually heard it yet, but I've heard bits and pieces on Spotify. But I needed it for collector's purposes, and it should be interesting at the least. And last but not least, I finally picked up this Black Sabbath box, which I'm sure you all know, which is digitally remastered versions of their classic albums. You know, it looks like that. So, tons of music I've picked up in the last couple of months, and I'll be going through these and playing them, and then filing them away into the archives, or if I don't really care for it, I'll give them away or sell them. But the fun part of collecting is getting out there. I buy things on Amazon, but usually most of the stuff I buy is going to the record stores and going through the racks and going to the flea markets and going hunting out there and finding this. Most of the stuff was from the flea market, and I paid like $1 or $2 for each CD, if you can believe that. Even the box sets maybe $3 or $4. So it's just the fun of hunting and finding stuff, and the thrill of bringing it home and listening to it and saying, "Wow, this is great," and trying to discover stuff. I bought all these Manic Street Preachers. I'm not even sure how much I'm going to like them, or some of these other bands that I'm not familiar with, Grapefruit and Apple. But that's the fun part. And occasionally I'll buy on Amazon, but anybody could just order on Amazon. It's the fun part is getting out and discovering. So I hope this was a little bit interesting for you. And thanks for tuning in. And there'll be more to come. And if you're enjoying it, please subscribe and tell your friends. And hopefully over time my videos will catch on, because I'm just trying to turn everybody on to great music you may not know, as I'm trying to discover great music that I don't know. So thanks so much again.